First things first, Patriots, Falcons tonight in the ATL. How will Mac Jones follow up last Sunday's stellar performance? The Jets, are they making a mistake playing Joe Flacco on Sunday? A plethora of options suddenly for the Jets. And the Bud list is back. Broussard's under duress list, hot off the press. If that is such a thing anymore, good Thursday morning, everyone. Welcome to First Things First. Jenna Wolfe alongside.
No chance he would
Wright,
do it.
Chris Broussard, Kevin Wilds. Is there a chance, Chris Broussard? Would you have the gall, the audacity? Would you have that to put Patrick Mahomes back on that Bud list? Could you do it?
You know it, Jenna. You know I would,
Jenna.
Without giving away too many secrets.
He wouldn't undermine the credibility of the list.
Don't give away too much.
He wouldn't undermine the credibility of the list.
Or we wouldn't tease it if he would. We have to start in the NBA. In Milwaukee, Lakers, Bucks, both teams in need of a big win. Lakers still without LeBron, sitting out his 8th straight game. Bucks had their superstar, though. Boy, did they ever. Giannis, a monster night out of him, scored 47 points. He'd say after he wanted to go out and be the aggressor, and that he was. Bucks take the win over the Lakers, 109-102, your final. For the Lakers, meanwhile, they now fall to 3-5 in this stretch that LeBron's been sidelined with that abdominal strain. But that stretch could come to an end as soon as tomorrow night. Report out there, LeBron's a 50-50 shot to play in Boston. Is that the answer to all their problems, though? Who knows? Broussard, I'll start with you. Do the Lakers have bigger issues than just missing LeBron?
Well, sure. Russell Westbrook leads the league with 5.3 turnovers a game. That's the second most of his career, even though his usage rate is the lowest since his second season in the NBA. All right, so he's turning it over like crazy. All right, they can't guard anybody. All right, whether it's a young, fast team that moves all over the court like, say, Golden State, or it's a big team with a 7-footer who's dominant like, say, Milwaukee last night. All right, and at best, they're a mediocre three-point shooting team, at best. All that said, though, I do see reasons for optimism once LeBron gets back. I mean, and beyond just his greatness and his ability to fix a lot of their problems. Russell Westbrook has been much better, even despite his problems, since Anthony Davis has gone to center and Frank Vogel has done what everyone said he should do 3 months ago, which is go with the small lineup in AD at center. That's opened up the floor, it's opened up the driving lanes, and Westbrook's played much better. And what I like even more is that with the return of Talen Horton-Tucker, who's 23 points, 7 rebounds a game in his 3 games, he's played well. But more importantly, he's handling the ball a lot. And that means Russell Westbrook has been off the ball a lot, getting used to playing off the ball, diving more, flashing more, cutting more to the basket. What does that mean? When LeBron comes back, whether it's tomorrow or next week, Russell Westbrook will be more used to being off the ball. The key is at the end of games, Nick, LeBron has to handle the ball. And not Westbrook. Lately, it's been Westbrook since LeBron's been out, and Westbrook doesn't make great decisions, like these ridiculous threes he takes late in the game. And now when LeBron comes back, Westbrook clearly will be fine with LeBron having the ball at the end of games and a lot during the games because he's fine with Talen Horton-Tucker having the ball. So I do see reasons for optimism, assuming LeBron is relatively healthy the rest of the way. I'm not predicting necessarily that they definitely win the title, but they will be a contender if LeBron stays healthy, Wilds.
Yeah, they'll certainly be a contender, but I thought last night's game was very bizarre, and if I was a Lakers fan, I would be a little bit concerned. So here's the picture. Last night in Milwaukee, there were 5 guys in the building that were on the NBA 75 team. Mr. Durability, LeBron James, was in street clothes, a beautiful jacket, I might add, but he was in street clothes, he didn't play. Mr. Intensity, Russell Westbrook, had a quiet game. 19 points. His one highlight was a little Globetrotters move when he tried to get a ball that was dead. How about Carmelo? Oh, he's a little bit, past his prime, but he's still a sharpshooter. Nope. 2 for 8 from 3 with a quiet 10 points. So that leaves the other 2 big men in the game, AD and Giannis. And one guy came up to play Nick, and the other guy was kind of there. If we can look at their stats, Giannis had 47 points, AD had 18. Took 23 shots, AD took 15, 1 3. Even Giannis was knocking down threes, 0 free throws. They were complaining about that after the game. He had a big dunk. He got fouled. Actually, Giannis ended up looking better on the dunk. But here's why I thought it was specifically concerning Nick. Not all of this is skill. A lot of this is just mindset and decision-making. Here's an example of AD being guarded by Chris Middleton. Chris Middleton's not locking him down. Chris Middleton is just like, hi, I'm Chris Middleton. I'm here to guard you. Yeah. What does AD do?
Late fourth quarter.
Let me get out. Let me get out. AD is the best player on the floor by a mile, Nick, in a Lakers uniform.
For the Lakers.
Why? It's his play.
Right.
Let's go to the other side. What happens when Giannis has the ball? Giannis,
it's the next possession.
Next possession, Giannis was like, who is this? I don't care who it is. THT, I'm going to get to the basket. This is my team. Yep. We used to have debates. Who's better, AD or Giannis? Oh,
that's
Giannis
right.
Stole the Defensive Player of the Year award from AD. Huh? The gap between Giannis and AD, from what I saw last night, is a gulf. It is an ocean.
100%.
And we used to think it was this little brook. It is an ocean.
Wilds. We had those debates 14 months ago. Like, the moment AD think, again, the NBA seasons are all run together weird, but the Lakers won the title 13 months ago, okay? I know Giannis had just won back-to-back MVPs, but if after the opening 2 games of those NBA Finals against the Heat, when AD had 34 and 32 and Giannis had just gotten washed by the Heat, I don't even think it was a debate. I think if you asked 100 NBA people, who would you rather have, I think 75 would have said Anthony Davis. And now it is, here's what I want to say about Giannis and then my concerns about the Lakers. And Broussard, this is the highest compliment I can pay Giannis, and this is why, despite what Steph's doing, despite what Jokic is doing, despite what Durant's doing, Giannis wears the crown. If this game was broadcast in the 1980s format, where they only show time and score, every few minutes, and you don't know what the time and score is, at no point would I have been concerned the Bucks were losing. Giannis has elevated, when he is locked in like he was last night, to a place very few guys have been. LeBron has been there. We'll see if he gets there again. And that is the place of his team's winning. Why? Because he's going to make sure of it. When the Lakers went on their run in the third quarter, there was never a moment I thought the Lakers were winning this game when I saw Giannis's level versus Anthony Davis's level. Yep. I'm going to show a different Anthony Davis play, and I'm not trying to pile on, but I just want to give you the context here. It is a 5-point game. There are 36 seconds left. If Russell Westbrook's at the free throw line, if Russ misses the free throw, which about 1 in 3 times he does, and the Bucks get the rebound, it's game over. Watch the intensity of everyone on this blockout other than Anthony Davis. What are we doing? Watch. You see Carmelo. Carmelo's fighting. You don't know the rebound. If he's going to miss, he could miss to your side or the other side. I know this sounds small, but if that misses to AD's side, is there any chance he's getting that over Giannis? Any chance at all? That's the game. That is the game. However, I don't want to blame Anthony Davis entirely for having a preseason game intensity. Because you know who also did? Frank Vogel. And I know he's won a championship, but I'm about up to here, man. Did you see the line? It was essentially a tie game going into the fourth quarter. This lineup for 3 minutes and 18 seconds in an NBA game on national television in the year of our Lord 2021. Huh? What are we doing? What you picking names out of the hat? Like, how is that a lineup playing big minutes in an NBA game. Oh, that's when Giannis was resting. Yeah, guess what? Here's the most important stat from last night. Well, two of them. I'll give them to you. Giannis scored 47. In the 36 minutes Giannis played, the Bucks were +1. So he scored 47 and the Lakers played him even. So why'd they lose? Because the minutes Giannis didn't play, the Lakers couldn't take advantage. You know what you do the open of that fourth quarter, Vogel? You tell Russ, hey, Seattle Seahawks, let Russ cook. Russ, it's your game until Giannis comes back in, because that's when we're putting Anthony Davis back in. And you're right, Broussard. He's gone away from the centers. Kind of. Last night, Dwight played 8 minutes. They were -11 in those 8 minutes. That works out to -66 over a game. DJ played 5 minutes. They were -5. That works out to, carry the one, -48 if he plays the whole game. Stop it. Put him on ice. So, listen, I said this after game one. This Lakers team is not a great team right now. Maybe they'll turn into one. But this is going to take a magic trick by LeBron James, Jenna. Because right now, they're not coached very well. Anthony Davis is floating. And Giannis looked head and shoulders and torso and navel above everyone else last night. Shouldn't have happened.
Right. Well, there is a 50-50 shot. Again, LeBron suits up for the Lakers tomorrow night. See if that is at least one step towards carrying some of these problems. Nick says LeBron is going to play. That makes it more than 50%. Talk some football. The Jets are going with Joe Flacco under center on Sunday. Are they making a big mistake switching quarterbacks yet again? Ask these guys next. First things first.
The old Rondo, Monk, Ellington.
New York Jets head coach Robert Saleh announcing yesterday it's going to be Joe Flacco getting the start Sunday against the Miami Dolphins. It's like quarterback carousel up here in New York. Step right up, pick your quarterback. Saleh deciding he's going to sit Mike White after he threw 4 picks against Buffalo. And rookie Zach Wilson still not 100% ready to go. So, Flacco, buddy, you're up. Here was Saleh explaining the decision.
One of the reasons why we went and got Joe is for the experience part of it, not only for the playing ability and but for the room, but also for situations just like this. You know, Miami's got a dynamic coverage system as it pertains to defense with zero and all the different coverages they run, and Joe's kind of been there, done that, and just kind of a steadying experience that we felt would put us in the best position to win.
All right, Chris Broussard, the Jets' decision to start Joe Flacco against Miami is blank.
Jenna, you said it a few moments ago. It's concerning, all right? It's concerning. I know the last week, even on Monday, I chastised the New York media, the New York fan base, and Coach Robert Saleh himself for talking about Mike White like he was the second coming of Kurt Warner after one game. Okay? That said, though, this decision to go with the 36-year-old Joe Flacco instead of Mike White after one bad game is asinine. I could have used that word, Jenna, asinine, but I'm using this word concerning instead because I've tried to give Robert Saleh the benefit of the doubt. Like, I'm looking to see. I'm not judging him too quickly. I think he could be a good coach, maybe because he looks like a superhero. I'm waiting to see what he can do, okay? But there's only one of 3 explanations for why you would start Flacco over Mike White. One is that you're indecisive, okay? Because on Monday, Saleh was talking about White even after the 4 interceptions, like, hey, don't judge him after one game. He'll be fine. He talked him up a little bit. All right, so he's either indecisive, number one. Number 2, he's either responding to the New York media, which destroyed White after the bad game on Sunday. Or 3, the decision was made for Saleh from on high. He was told to do it from those above him. None of those makes him look good. And now I'm concerned that he can't coach like the superhero he looks like, Nick. This is very concerning.
Okay. All right, so I have a very, very, very different angle on this. My answer is the Jets' decision to start Joe Flacco versus the Dolphins is a religious experience. So follow me down this path for a moment. I think we've all either said or heard someone say after losing a family member, you know, I I'd give a year off my life if I could have one more conversation with my grandpa or whomever. So I'm not a very religious man, but I've said similar things. And I'm a little concerned here, Wilds, because I absolutely said this offseason, I'd give a year off my life if just one more time I could bet against Joe Flacco. And smite me now if you need to, but that opportunity is here. Dolphins -3.5. Oh, me and Zach Taylor taking those winnings to the craps table, baby. Oh my God, manna from heaven. I'm getting to bet against Joe Flacco again? I thought it was over. I thought it was gone. I never thought this opportunity would come about. Once again, it's been a tough year. Chiefs have only covered 6 of their last 20. We've had some up and down. Nick's picks have been hit or miss. But guess what, buddy? We get it all back. Nick? We get it all back and then some. America, this is how you get that Aspen house. This is how, you know, the kids' tuition you've been waiting to pay for. This is how you get it done. Joe Flacco is starting an NFL game against a legitimate, all of a sudden frisky defense, and you only have to lay the 3.5. Oh my God. Now, listen, a deal's a deal with God. I don't know how long I was gonna live. We're shaving a year off it, but for these 3.5 hours on Sunday, it'll be worth it. It'll be worth it. So yeah, that's what it is to me, Wilds.
So, Broussard, can I offer another explanation? Because I think this was actually the plan. I went from this is foolish to this actually makes a decent amount of sense, and here's why. Do you think that Mike White has any trade value whatsoever? Because I feel like it was a flash in the pan, one-hit wonder. That was it. The story is over for Mike White. But you seem to have a little bit of Mike White, I don't know, goodwill left in your heart. Do you think there's still something there that he could actually become the starter or actually become trade bait for somebody?
No. I think look, just like you're overreacted in the positive in New York to one game, you shouldn't overreact in the negative to one game. Now, it's smart to say, look, no controversy, Zach Wilson's our starter. But maybe Mike White is the backup. Maybe he can be a legitimate backup. He's young, let's play him. And to your point, Wilds, if he looks really good, maybe you do have some trade value in it. So there's no benefit in playing Flacco. You're not making the playoffs. What are you trying to do? The rest of this season is about seeing who your young quarterbacks are. So
there's benefit. There's some benefit.
Lock of the week.
Flacco.
Lock of the week for Nick Wright. Nick's fading Flacco. Yeah. Lock of the week.
Yeah,
that's
correct. That is correct, Jenna.
We'll see you tomorrow.
You gotta hate this.
Here's another lock. Patrick Mahomes. Broussard's ready to break out his under duress list. Could this guy, Patrick Mahomes, really be on it despite coming off that blowout win? Stick around and find out. So here we go, guys. Now to the moment we wait for every Thursday, time for Chris Broussard to put some guys under duress. It was a rough go of it for OBJ, for example, in his Rams debut Monday. Probably would be on this list if LA wasn't on the bye this week. Here we go, Chris Broussard. Clear your throat. Let's focus on who's playing in Week 11. Which 5 players are under the most duress?
All right, at number 5, Nick, guess what? It is not Patrick Mahomes. It's Cam Newton. That's right. We all loved it last week. We loved it, right? When Cam scored 2 touchdowns and announced, I'm back. All right, but is he really back? I mean, he only played 7 plays, 4 passes, 2 of them behind the line of scrimmage. Is he really back? We'll find out when they play Washington and his former coach, Ron Rivera, coming up. He's likely to get the start. If Cam has a dud, all the warm and fuzzy feelings we've been getting about him because he's back, they'll dissipate. And then the questions come about, again, is he still an NFL starting quarterback? So Cam Newton's got to deliver. At number 4, Nick, look, I'm honest. I am the objective one, and it's your boy, Patrick Mahomes. Okay, look, after last week's blowout of the Raiders, the Chiefs and Mahomes were quick to announce, We got our swagger back. But like, Cam, is it really back? Is it really back? I mean, look, people, you know what everybody's saying. The Raiders thought they were smart. Everybody's got the blueprint, right? Cover 2 against Patrick Mahomes, shut him down. Oh, the Raiders decide, you know what? Nah, who needs to cover 2? We'll go single high safety most of the game. And Mahomes, guess what? Turns back the clock and looks like the Patrick Mahomes of old.
Turns back
now,
the clock.
We'll see. Hey, we will see if they're really back this week and if Patrick Mahomes can deliver. When you announce that your swagger's back and then you lose, then where do you go? Where do you go? All right, Dallas, the best team in the league, according to Nick's Tiers, is waiting. All right, at number 3, Lamar Jackson. Yes, look, the Ravens have been struggling lately. Lost 2 of their last 3 games. And here's what folks are saying. Just like they think there's a blueprint now on Pat Mahomes, there's a blueprint on Lamar Jackson. The Dolphins, heavy in the cover 0. All right? We're blitzing all night, buddy, and you're not going to make us pay. And guess what? It didn't happen. When Cincinnati blew out the Ravens few weeks ago, same thing. They didn't do it as much, but when they went cover 0, they gave Lamar fits. Now, we'll see if the Bears do that, because Lamar is the 28th ranked passer, according to Pro Football Focus, against the blitz, and the Bears have the lowest blitz rate in the league. So we will see if they change it up and blitz. But if they do, it could be trouble for Lamar. He's under duress. All right, number 2, Justin Herbert. All right, now, they look like a Super Bowl contender. He looked like an MVP candidate a month ago. Well, lo and behold, they've lost 3 of their last 4. And now they are in danger of maybe missing the playoffs for the 3rd straight year, maybe the 7th time in the last 8 years they'll be out of the postseason. It's time for Herbert to deliver. In their last 3 losses, he's completed fewer than 60% of his passes and not thrown for even 225 yards in any of those 3 games. Justin Herbert, you got to deliver. You're under duress. And that number 1 is kind of obvious. And I know he's beat up. You know, his shoulder's beat up. His knee is beat up. His feelings are beat up. All right, but he is playing because he's a football player in Cleveland Wilds. So he's going to play, but he's got to deliver because he only had 73 yards passing last week. And now there's rumblings of maybe the Browns should look elsewhere for their quarterback of the future. But when you're struggling, who better to play than the freaking winless Lions? All right, the Lions, you got the Lions. If somehow Baker Mayfield and the Browns lose to the Detroit Lions, that roar that you heard about, let's look elsewhere, will hit a fever pitch. And they'll be saying maybe Baker Mayfield needs to follow Odell Beckham Jr. out the door. Those are the 5 guys under duress. Give me love. Give me love.
Yeah. Well, 1, 2, and 3 were fine. But this is a pitch-perfect example as to why you need what I had the humility to recognize I needed for the Tiers
committee,
which is a committee. Thank you, Jenna. You need people around you who can remove bias and remove agendas. Because there is someone missing from this list that sticks out like a sore thumb that anyone and everyone would have on the list. But the problem is he doubles as Broussard's actual preseason MVP pick. And Broussard, at the end of the year, when he wants to make the MVP case for Thomas Edward Patrick Brady II, I already know he wants to be able to say, never once appeared on the Bud list, even though we all know he should be on it. His last 2 games, he has turned the ball over 5 times. 5 turnovers in 2 games. The last time they played the Giants, By the way, it came down to a 2-point conversion in the waning seconds. A Giants team that over its last 3 weeks quietly has been quite good defensively. Held Carolina to 3 points, held the Super Bowl favorite Kansas City Chiefs to 20, held the Raiders to 16. So the defense is peaking. Brady's playing his worst ball. They're dealing with injuries on both sides of the ball. And this is a stat that I could not believe is true, but it is. Tom Brady has not had a 3-game losing streak, Wilds, since I was in high school. 2002, the last time Tom Brady lost 3 games in a row. They've lost back-to-back games. They are playing on national television against Daniel Jones and the Giants. Brady is coming off his 2 worst games of the year. To not have Brady on the Bud list shows a level of bias, hypocrisy, corruption that I thought the Bud list was above, Wilds, and it's disappointing to me. It's disappointing.
Wow. Oh. All right, so I'm going to go on the other side of the ball. I'm going to say Daniel Jones, who Tom Brady is going against. I think Tom Brady is an excellent addition to the Bud list because, first of all, it's an inspiration, okay? The Bud list is supposed to inspire guys. People put this up for bulletin board material in their own locker rooms. They say, you know what, I got to be better. Let me ask you a question about Daniel Jones. My 3 best memories of Daniel Jones, he didn't just come into the league, were a long run in which he fell down, him almost beating Tom Brady last year, and a catch this year. Those are my 3 favorite Daniel Jones memories. He's just sitting on mediocre, Broussard. He's over 7 in primetime games. This won't be in primetime, so maybe he can get a win here. Every other stat is just sitting in the 20s, yards per game. I think he's 23rd. He's got 8 touchdowns. But here's the question for you, Broussard. If the Giants said, guys, first-round draft pick, Daniel Jones is available. We're making him available. Well, our phone lines are open. Again, our phone lines are. I have my shirt. Would anyone call? Would anyone call? I was trying to go there like, the Texans, like, no, they probably want to do their. Does anyone call? So I think while Daniel Jones has just been floating in this mediocre range of 20s, he needs something to hang his hat on. And I think a win over the Bucs would be the best moment of his career, and that's why I'm putting him on the Bud list. Not to discipline the guy. It should serve as an inspiration. If you had to pick who deserves to be on the Bud list more, Brady or Daniel Jones, who would you put on?
All right, let me address it. First of all, you two they play Monday night, right? You two are way too much into that Monday night game. All right, you guys like this is the matchup of the weekend according to you two. All right, that's number one. Let me address Nick first. Tom Brady, first of all, I don't even think I'm going to address your contention that I would somehow finagle the situation so that my MVP pick in the preseason could win it. No, look, that is ridiculous. You know that the Bud list is way above that. Saying. We don't go. In fact, the Bud list is about inspiration. So I would actually go the opposite and put Brady on the Bud list because everybody that gets on it just goes great and gets their swagger back. Ask your boys in Kansas City. But here's the reason Brady didn't make it. He is even more of a made man than your guy Mahomes. I'm not going to panic over Brady after 2 bad games. All right, he's done too much for me to put him under duress after just 2 bad games, especially when he played so well in the previous, 7 games. So that's the thing. I can't go there yet because he was so good before that. Mahomes was, by his standards, bad or mediocre leading up to these last few games. So that's why I went with Brady. Wilds, here's the problem with Daniel Jones on the Bud list.
Exactly.
Half of America is like, who? Yeah. Who's that other guy?
The Giants.
The Brady on there. That's the New York. That's your New York and Northeast Coast bias. That's what that is.
That is the problem.
Nobody cares about Daniel Jones.
Okay, then that's an issue.
Nobody cares about Daniel Jones. I'm sorry. And those that do care about him, have made up their mind. He's a bad to mediocre quarterback.
Yeah, just very quickly,
You
the
said
nicest
nobody's
thing
calling.
the nicest thing, Jenna, anyone has said about Daniel Jones on national television in the better part of a year was Kevin Wildes repeatedly calling him mediocre. Daniel's getting texts from his family. Hey, the funny guy on First Things First said you're mediocre, buddy. You're getting there. That's on your way up.
He loves you.
Mediocrity. Hey, now. He hadn't been called
You're the funny
mediocre in a
guy.
while.
Exactly.
Big game.
Exactly.
Big game, Broussard. Big game. Giants-Patriots. Marquee matchup.
I guess
Time
so.
for Nick to hand out NBA medals. Mavs, Suns, just under a minute left. Devin Booker splashing down from the logo with the dagger. Good enough to get Phoenix their 10th straight win. 10 in a row, Nick. When do we start talking Suns as the team to beat? Not looking for an actual date. It was just a rhetorical question. Book, just missing out on a medal. Nick, which three guys did it better last night?
Look who makes the medal stand. James Harden. Bronze medal, 27, 10, and 7. You might say, that sounds like an old school James Harden stat line. It sure does, particularly the 12 free throws. James Harden got to the line, looks like James Harden again. Side note, hey, Brooklyn, that's your permanent court. Those are your permanent jerseys. Then maybe you'll have to start to develop an actual fan base. Silver medal, Jimmy Butler, 31, 10, and 10. Few games off for Jimmy, comes back, drops the hammer over the hapless Pelicans. 31, 10, and 10 for Jimmy Butler. He gets a silver, and the gold medal is very obvious, very easy. Giannis, 47 points on 23 shots, was the best player on the court by a country mile last night, as Giannis really had his first, what I would consider, truly great game since, when was the last one? Oh yeah, when he scored 50 to win the title. So there it is. That's your medal stand, Jenna, from last night in the NBA.
It's a good looking stand. All right. Take a turn. Get back talking some Patriots. Mac Jones, the rookie quarterback, has the Patriots on a 4-game win streak. Will Mac put on another show tonight in Atlanta? Break down all the angles of tonight's game next. First things first. Talk some Thursday night football here in First Things First. Patriots, Falcons, Mac Jones and the Pats have been rolling. Winners of 4 in a row coming into tonight. We saw Mac play his best game of the season Sunday in that Browns blowout. Is he primed for an encore? And with that, we say good morning to our 3-time Super Bowl champ, former Patriots assistant coach, the always effervescent Eric Mangini. Coach, be effervescent. Be effervescent on cue. Do your thing. We are excited. You got a game plan for us. Tell us how that Patriots offense could keep rolling tonight against the Atlanta Falcons.
Well, I'm going to try to be effervescent. I'm a little bummed that Nick called Kevin Wildes the funny guy on First Things First. I thought that was my moniker, but you know, I guess I'll just go with the effervescent guy.
Okay,
I'll trade.
I'll be the effervescent guy.
That's not bad, right? In terms of tonight, in terms of what the Patriots need to do and what Mac Jones needs to do, the first thing is they need to keep it clean. And what I mean by that is the Patriots have always been a team that doesn't beat themselves. And that hasn't been the case throughout the early part of the season. But lately, it's been trending in a much better direction. Mac Jones has, over this 4-game win streak, he's got 6 touchdowns. He's got only 1 interception. The Pats have been second in fewest amount of drops in the NFL, and they've improved several spots in terms of penalties, and that's what they need to do. That's a trademark of the dynasty, is not beating yourself, and it's trending in the right way. The second thing is Back to the Future, and Nick is going to love this.
Michael J. Fox.
I know it's all about quarterback driven runs. It's all about RPOs. It's all about mobile quarterbacks. The league has changed. Yeah, I get it. Now what New England's done is they've run the ball 37 times per game over the last 3 games. They've got 34 minutes time of possession, and it's been downhill, traps, physical, the wide receivers blocking. Kevin, if you want to get excited, go watch the first 10 plays from the Browns game, the coaching tape, and see the amount of Browns that get decleated early in just the first 10 plays. And that,
or watch Back to the Future.
Buddy Ryan used to say, look, there's a place for a good little man in football, just not in front of a good big man. And they were playing some big man football early in that game, and it's serving them well. And then the last thing is process and placement. And what we're looking for from a quarterback is, can you make the right read and can you deliver a catchable ball? Can you make the right read and can you deliver a catchable ball? And as much as we talk about all the other things, that's the essence of it. And Mac Jones has done a good job of incrementally getting better in situational football, in building on his reps and delivering those catchable balls and making the right reads. They've improved on third down. They've improved in the red area. And I'm going to show you a play from the Carolina game that illustrates this. So this is both a third down play and it's in the red zone. And what he's got to navigate through is how are they going to handle the receivers on the left? They've got three guys. They're going to double one of those two guys, but who's it going to be? And then on the right-hand side, how are they going to handle those three guys with their four defenders, knowing that there's going to be some kind of double team with that as well? As he drops back, he sees that the slot receiver is going to be taken away on the left, and the outside receiver is going to be taken away on the right. So now he's got to process this post-snap, find the single coverage. There's Hunter Henry. He's driving into the end zone. He's got the safety. Now the question is he going to be able to push this safety back to allow himself some space to hook up? As he crosses the end zone, he gets the safety to move back. Now, Mac Jones, it's about placement. You can't put it high. You can't put it in his chest. You want a second base throw because you want it low and away from the defender so he's got no way to then make this play. And these types of plays are huge for a rookie quarterback because there's so much to analyze pre-snap. There's so much to analyze post-snap. And then it's about, can you place the ball in a very tight window? And he's shown that progress over the course of the season, which is really encouraging for the team and for him.
Yeah, listen, that was a great play, a great throw, and by the way, I give him credit because I don't know if people saw on the ticker how much time's left. There's less than 30 seconds left in the half. They only have one timeout, so the defense knows the Patriots aren't running there. I mean, I guess technically they could, but they almost assuredly aren't, and because of that, They really drop 8. It looks like they're going to drop 7. They really drop 8, and they only rush 3. And so almost everyone's double teamed. So that's good process. And, like, listen, I'm not being sarcastic here. It was a beautiful, very well done 7-yard pass. And I give Mac Jones a ton of credit for being able to make a lot of these really nice 7-yard passes. To Coach's point, the Patriots are running the ball at a rate higher. They're top 3 in the league at run rate. Now, there's 2 reasons for that. One is because they are trying to protect their rookie quarterback, which is smart. But the other one is, and Wilds, this is where I think the Patriots are going to consistently be in the mix year over year, is because of how smart they are, not just in schematics, but in team building. So if we think back a decade ago, Wilds, when the whole league was realizing we got to get smaller and faster on defense, the Patriots countered that by saying, okay, we're going to play 2 tight ends. We're going to play 2 tight ends. Now they can catch the ball, but we're going to be bigger than you. And as the league has continued to emphasize nickel corners and extra safeties, the Patriots coach used to always say, they don't want to dance with you, they want to punch you. They want to punch you. They don't want to dance, they want to punch. They're going to be bigger and they're going to impose their will on teams. And I would argue Atlanta's a great team for them to be able to do that against. Atlanta's a team that is on both sides of the ball, a finesse team that you would think the Patriots are going to say, we don't care about how it looks, we're going to bully you. Yeah. So there's a lot of reasons why I think the Patriots should be in really good position against these Falcons. None of it has to do with 28-3, it just has to do with the coaching staffs and the styles of these 2 teams.
Right.
Look, I think the Patriots, and we all agree that they have a schematic advantage, that Belichick is going to outsmart you and out-experience you. But, Coach, I want to show you another play. And hold off before you run it just for a second, Pepper, because I just want to set it up. I want to show you another play at the end of the Browns game. Jacoby Myers had never caught a touchdown in his career. He'd gone 1,500 yards. He had 134 catches. It was the longest drought for a guy being that productive and not catching a touchdown. So now we can run the play. He gets one in basically garbage time. Brian Hoyer throws it to him. He gets into the end zone, and literally all of the Patriots come to celebrate with Jacoby Myers. Not only the offense, here comes Matthew Judon comes in. Here comes Mac Jones, who's already out of the game. When you watch the Patriots on their YouTube channel, the coaches are losing their mind. Everyone is so happy. Now, granted, I am a sucker for this stuff, of these like emotional moments. I think it matters when a basketball player gets fouled and 3 guys help pick him up. I think it matters when a guy hits a double and instead of just taking off his elbow brace, he points to the dugout and the dugout's fired up. And when we see championship teams and special teams, not special teams, the kicker, doesn't just mean teams that are special, they always, without fail, talk about this is a special group of guys. I love these guys. This is a great team. And for me to see this with a group of guys that has largely been put together this year with so many free agents have this special moment, I thought it was a huge, huge moment for the Patriots. Do you think I'm overplaying it and being sort of an emotional homer, or do you think that this really means that the Patriots are something special?
I'm not sure if just this moment is indicative of where they are emotionally, but it's a great sign, and it's exactly what you want to see. You want to see your players celebrating with each other. You want to see your players happy for each other, and we would talk about that in meetings, and we talk about it in team meetings where a guy goes and scores a touchdown, and he's all about the crowd, and he's all about look at me. That's one aspect, and I get it. There's the building your brand component to it, but it's not really what the core of team sports is. And when guys are celebrating with each other and happy for each other's success and truly looking at it from a team perspective, there's a different level of chemistry there. And you know, those guys tend to work harder for each other. Those guys tend to fight harder for each other because it's more meaningful, and they care about each other. There's truth in sports, and when teams care about each other, they typically play much harder and perform much better.
Coach, yeah, like Wiles, I thought that was a great moment. I'm not going to go gaga goo-goo over it and say that all of a sudden they're about to win more Super Bowls. All right, but it was a nice, cute moment, okay? It was cute. All right, but here's where I do want to go, because I am with Wiles on this. I do like the Patriots. Like him, I picked them to reach the playoffs this year. I don't think they're a legitimate Super Bowl contender. No rookie's ever led a team to the Super Bowl as a quarterback. So but I do think they can make the playoffs, and I love Mac Jones. And Nick likes to say, oh, they're not going anywhere with Mac Jones because he'll never be more than the 7th best quarterback, or 6th maybe, in the AFC. Now, I'll give Nick Mahomes, Lamar, probably Josh Allen, but I'm not so sure, especially with Mac playing for Belichick, Josh McDaniels, with a great defense, with a good running game, with a great offensive line. I'm not so sure that down the line he can't be viewed as better than a Justin Herbert and Trevor Lawrence and Joe Burrow and some of these other guys. So where do you see, is that foolish? I mean, is it that, yeah, Mac won't ever be better than that second group of guys I mentioned? Or do you agree with me that, yeah, he could surpass those guys in production?
Well, there's a lot of guys that could come into the league and have some limited success, and they flash because of their natural ability and some of the things that they just can do because of what they've been gifted with. And then there's the guys who study and who improve and who consistently get better year after year. And I've said this over and over with Tom Brady. Tom wouldn't have been on any of Nick's lists, and look, I know Nick tries to keep him off lists now, but he wouldn't have been because he wasn't ready, and he had to work really hard and improve significantly, even from when he was first a starter. I mean, we scored 3 offensive touchdowns in our first Super Bowl run, but Tom continued to get better, and that's why he is where he is. the encouraging thing about a guy like Mac Jones, and when I talk about process and placement, is because processing what's happening, that's a huge part, probably the key part in any quarterback play, and he's shown that ability, and he should get better based off what we hear about his character.
Coach, as always, the game plan, on point, excellent. Sit tight, we'll see you in a little bit. Take a turn, talk some LeBron James now. He's nearing a return from that abdominal injury. Can the King fix all the Lakers' problems? Talk about that next. First things first. Time now for stories to start your morning. Sponsored by Ram Trucks, built to serve. And we're talking some Thursday night football. New England taking their 4-game win streak on the road into Atlanta tonight. Rookie quarterback Mac Jones, steady play. A big reason why the Pats find themselves just a half game back of the Buffalo Bills now and in the thick of the AFC wildcard race. Nick, you've been one of Mac's biggest critics to this point. Is there anything he can do tonight to convince you he is the real deal?
This is so frustrating. Even the premise of it. Nick, you've been one of Mac's biggest critics. No, I haven't. I have been a critic of the Mac Jones coverage. Mac Jones, fine. He'll continue to be fine. He'll never be great. He'll never be terrible, I don't think. He'll be fine. But there was a moment on yesterday's show by our beloved Patriots sycophant Kevin Wildes that encapsulates why this is so frustrating for me. Kevin Wildes went through Alabama quarterbacks and just said, like, as a given, he was like, obviously, Mac's been the best of all of them. And I was like, that right there is why I think the Mac Jones coverage is so insane. So this is a little bit of a spoiler, but can we show our first blind reveal? Because obviously, Mac Jones has been the best of all the Alabama quarterbacks. Who's that quarterback right next to him? Well, let's see. Their yards per game are almost the same. The other guy has a slightly better touchdown-interception ratio. Who could that be? Oh, that's right. Another Alabama quarterback in his first year as a starter. But in your mind, Mac Jones has been far and away the best. No, he has the Patriot glow on him. Meanwhile, Mac Jones gets to do all of this with Belichick and McDaniels. Meanwhile, Jalen Hurts has Nick Sirianni trying to thumb wrestle guys in potted plants analogies, and he's still making it work. And by the way, he can run too. And then it's like, oh, Mac Jones, when's the last time we saw a rookie quarterback with this command of an offense? Well, it's going to be hard. We're going to have to go deep into the annals of history to find a rookie quarterback. Okay, those numbers are almost identical. Now, the touchdowns are more because he played a few more games. There's a full season. What future all-time great is this? Show me, please. Oh, wait. Show it to me. There we go. It's Jalen Hurts' backup, Gardner Minshew, who's had just an amazing, remarkable career. So, no. Mac Jones tonight, when he goes 18 of 24 for 184 yards, 1 touchdown, no picks, and what looks nice passer rating against the Falcons, ain't going to prove, I almost cursed, anything to me. But Wildes, square that circle for me. Explain to me how Mac Jones has clearly been the best of the Alabama quarterbacks. Clearly better. There's Jalen. Why aren't we talking about Jalen? Tell me. Explain it to me. I'm confused.
Sure, because we're not playing tennis. If they were playing tennis and every guy was just them and it was mano-y-mano, Jalen Hurts serving and Mac Jones receiving, then maybe Jalen Hurts would win. But we're not. When I talk about Mac Jones, I'm talking about Mac Jones, not only the person, but Mac Jones, the idea. It's the idea of Mac Jones coming into the parking spot that says GOAT. Oh, Tom Brady, you're gone. Oh, here comes Mac Jones driving on in. Park it. Oh, Josh McDaniels and Bill Belichick are there. What do I have to do now? Here's the menu. Perfect. Sounds good. I can do this, 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 and this. Am I claiming that if you put Mac Jones on the Jacksonville Jaguars, that the Jaguars will be 6-4? Nope, I don't. But if you put Trevor Lawrence on the Patriots, do I think the Patriots would be 6-4? Probably not. I think it is a perfect hand and glove fit With an accurate quarterback who is dialed in, Broussard. So I'm thinking we are a team. We are not out here trying to do fantasy football. We're a team. Mac Jones fits into the team, and that's why he is better collectively than these guys, because he fits in with the Patriots. That's my moral of the story. I didn't do a bunch of blind reveals, even though, and I won't even mention that Jalen Hurts got to play the Chiefs, and Mac Jones hasn't had the opportunity yet. Once we get a nice stat padding game like that, Mac Jones' numbers will take off too. But right now, we're focused on the Falcons.
And the Texans.
Well, we didn't play the Chiefs.
So, go ahead, Broussard.
Get Dan Sorensen out there.
Look, Wilds is right on the money, Nick. And I told you weeks ago, you need to get on the Mac train. You're going to regret this. You will regret this. We told you the Patriots are going to make the playoffs. And no, I know it's a different conference, but you insisted on the Falcons. All right, we told you it was going to be the Patriots. You said Falcons, all right, in the other conference. All right, we told you Mac Jones was going to be rookie. We told you he's going to be rookie of the year. No. He's not. No way he's going to be rookie of the year.
Jamar Chase.
And you weren't saying Jamar Chase.
Not.
I think you were saying this guy.
But I am now.
I'm glad. Let me just cut to the chase. I'm glad that you brought up your little blind reveals that you thought were going to rock our worlds. Because you're not the only one on this show that's got blind reveals. Let me see it.
Oh, let's go.
How about this?
Let's go.
How about, look at that. He's wiping him out in completion percentage, wiping him out in yards per game, destroying him. You like to talk about the dink and dunk Mac Jones.
I can tell because of the neck.
Wiping him out.
I can tell because of the neck.
Passer rating is incredible.
It's got to be Trevor.
And here's the last thing. Before the reveal, Mac Jones is first among rookies in all of those. You were right. I do think Lawrence's neck is bigger, and I guess that's why you love him so much. But there it is, Nick. Look. It's the evidence.
Yeah.
Mac Jones is getting it done, baby. Give him his props.
Mac Jones has played better than Trevor Lawrence this year. But I will, and I don't even think Kevin Wildes is going to make, because Kevin Wildes did a very fun thing there, and it was smart. He tried to move the goalposts from a conversation of, is Mac Jones going to be great, to the Patriots are awesome. Patriots, because they have the best coach in league history, are going to win a lot of games. And therefore, because Kevin Wildes prays every night at the altar of QB wins, like all the other cavemen watching football, is going to anoint greatness to Mac Jones. But we're not actually going to have a who's going to be better Mac Jones, Trevor Lawrence. Because even Wildes isn't going to pick Mac Jones in that regard. Like, these are guys that really? So in high school, one was head, shoulders, and neck better than the other. In college, one was head and shoulders better than the other. The people who evaluate quarterbacks for a living, Trevor Lawrence had less discussion about as a number one pick than anyone I can remember, because there was no discussion. The draft started at 2. And now, because after college and after high school, where one was clearly better than the other Wildes, one went to a company that's been thriving for decades and the other went to a startup, we're like, clearly the former's going to have the better career. You don't actually believe that, do you? You don't believe, would you? So you wouldn't trade Mac Jones straight up for Trevor Lawrence if Urban Meyer went crazy and offered it? You wouldn't do that. Oh my God!
I would not. We have already given Mac Jones the Harry Potter-esque book of sorcery secrets of the dynasty. So once you've got that, you are in the system. That's the way it works. But I'll switch your analogy. If you and I were race car drivers, and I got to drive and you were better than me on paper, but I got to drive a Ferrari, and you were driving a Toyota Camry. And who would win the race consistently? If I was constantly in the Ferrari and you were constantly in the Toyota Camry, you're not allowed to get out after 10 years and say, you know what, I'm still the better driver. Like, you're not. It's the whole team we're looking at. I've won more races. That means I am the better driver because my team is better. I am the better driver. Mac Jones is that guy. Bill Belichick's got the Ferrari. Feels like he drives a pickup truck, but he's actually driving a Ferrari.
Broussard, I'm not, just quickly, I'm not that familiar with Toyota Camrys, but I am, to further this analogy, familiar with the old American steel Shelby Cobra. And I am familiar with a nice Ford American Muscle, Dodge Ram's obviously my favorite car, who had that exact scenario, and they kicked Ferrari's ass. Despite all the institutional advantages. You know why? They had the right driver and the right people there. I've seen the movie. Matt Damon, excellent job.
Yeah, guess who was
along
there?
With Christian Bale. Everyone should watch it.
Literally,
was it?
Matt Damon, Patriots fan? Thank you. Matt Damon, Patriots fan.
Look, the fact is, you guys are both on too far on the extremes. Both things can be. Trevor Lawrence, I believe, will be great, and individually is better, will be better than Mac Jones. But Nick, Mac Jones is going to be great too. And if he ends up winning more than Trevor Lawrence, guess what? Could be Peyton Manning and Tom Brady. I mean, not that they'll hit those levels, but it could be that type of thing. You can't you play to win the game, Nick. You can't overrule wins. Quarterback wins is a thing. It really is. And it's a good thing.
Okay. Find out about Matt Ryan tonight.
Justin
Mac versus Matt, Thursday Night Football. See you tomorrow. Undisputed right now.